Hi there everyone, welcome back to On the Flip Side. My name is Adam Shawwalker, your host. It's been a while since I've done one of these reaction videos, but I woke up this morning to a new Metallica single, as did the rest of you, and I've been excited as well as worried about digging into this thing all day. Their last album, 2016's Hardwired to Self-Destruct, was okay. Compared to Death Magnetic, the album before that, it seemed like a step more or less in the right direction, especially considering how much of Death Magnetic seemed like blatant rewrites of older Metallica tracks. Hardwired did have some tracks that I really liked, namely the title track and Spit Out the Bone, both of which I still find myself revisiting once in a while. But past that, yeah, a lot of these tracks that seem to be crowd pleasers like Atlas Rise or Moth into Flame I have been consistently underwhelmed by. Hardwired was a marginal improvement over Death Magnetic in my opinion. Certainly a lot of this newer material has felt a little bit more on the fresher, cutting-edge side of things. Lars Ulrich seems to have finally taken some trem lessons. But I can't help but hear a lot of those tracks and wonder where they're pulling inspiration from, especially since so many of these songs are again rehashes of old ideas, i.e. Dream No More, again pulling from the already exhausted Lovecraft mythos, or the very unfortunately forgettable Murder One, which, while it is a newer idea as a tribute to the late and great Lemmy Kilmister, but it is one of the worst tracks the band has released just all around. It is pretty dreadful. So on top of this new single being dropped, we've got an announcement for a new record, 72 Seasons, which comes out on April 14th. 72 Seasons, of course, being 18 years, so I can only speculate on the perceived depth of whatever message James Hetfield has brought to the table in his lyrics this time around. And with any luck, it'll hopefully be another step in the right direction, but you know, who's to say? I mean, I'm hopeful, but also worried about the fact that for whatever reason, Metallica has insisted on releasing nearly like 80-minute long albums for the past several records with really not that much good material to fill it, and that's just the same story here with 72 Seasons hitting about like 77 minutes in runtime. So I am fully prepared to be impressed with these singles, only to be let down by the majority of the rest of the album. So let's just get into it. Lux Æterna, 72 Seasons. What was that guitar solo? Okay, so right off the bat, this track is just so very much meat and potatoes as far as Metallica goes, which is a good and bad thing. The good is that James Hetfield genuinely sounds fantastic with some very, very impressive highs and a really solid articulation on his melodies. And the drum work, while it's not anything to write home about, and it's not really all that impressive, it is very solid and really punchy and really, really consistent. As for the bad, I really don't know what the bass is doing in most of this track. They have once again buried most of it, and the guitar solo is laughable and sounds like a canned guitar solo from the Black Album. And honestly, I think that's being generous. It was like the solo started and I already knew exactly what Kirk Hammett was going to play. Also, I'm not sure how I feel about the writing when it comes to the main segment of the song, which is basically just Overkill by Motorhead mashed together with like half of the riff from Hit the Lights. It really does feel like Metallica is directly responding to the crowd who desperately wants Metallica to return more to their thrash metal roots, which, to be fair, I think is what they've been doing for the past couple of albums anyway, more or less. But here it feels like some of the influences are being worn so plainly that it's just kind of uncanny. Anyway, all things considered, this track is actually pretty good, and I think with the exception of the guitar solo, I think it is one of the better tracks from the past 20 years or so, but to be fair, the bar hasn't been set very high. Anyway, let me know what you thought of this track in the comments below. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you like what I'm doing here, drop a tip in the PayPal. Check out my Instagram, my Reverb, and my Depop. Links to all of those are in the description below. Thank you all so much again, and we'll see you on the flip side.